All right, another great week of fishing in the book. It's time for the FisherMN June 23rd through the 29th fishing report. Another busy week on the water. I was able to take a big trip this week up to Cloquet, then to Grand Rapids, then to the Mille Lacs area, and back home again. I definitely used my alarm clock this week, getting up at 3:30 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and 3 o'clock a.m. One of the days it paid off. In my quest to go to some new lakes, I went to Sturgeon Lake on my way to Cloquet. I'll include some of the footage. Lots of fish, lots of small fish. My one big fish got away, but don't they all? I tried some frog action, I tried some trolling, I tried some ultralight, and it just wasn't happening that day. The water was still in the low 60s, so I think that might have affected fishing. Hi everyone, FisherMN here back with you. Another week has started and we got a new lake to be on. We are on Sturgeon Lake in Sturgeon Lake, Minnesota. I'm headed up to Cloquet, and this lake was kind of on my way, so I thought I'd give it a try. A helpful thing is looking at the DNR report, and the DNR report said that this lake has some good average sized bass in it. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna pull out the frog, and we're gonna hit this reed line here out and probably in also. It's a bit choppy on the main lake, but this whole bay in here is gonna fish like its own lake, and hopefully we're gonna get some. I'll keep you updated as the day goes on. I haven't seen this reddish kind of weed before. Maybe it's bass repellent. There we go. First Sturgeon Lake fish. Ooh, that water is cold. This guy was ready to hit. There we go. Little guy, but you can kind of tell they got a good size to them. They're kind of stocky. Let's find a big one. Right off the edge there of the red leaves. Nice to get one on the board. Always makes you feel better on a new lake. Don't forget the Bass Highway. There we go. I heard it. Oh, just as that sun came out. That one felt a little better. Like I say, if they're big ones, they usually just swallow it. There we go. How's that for a hook set? Alright. Welcome to the boat. I think I just met your brother a little bit ago. Alright, we're trolling 14 feet of water. We've been getting one little northern after another. Still looking for a big one. I think this lake would be fun for the underwater camera. I think we're gonna have to get that out. See if we can get some of these guys on video. Alright, I'm finishing up my time here on Sturgeon Lake by Sturgeon, Minnesota. Nice to be out on the water. Lots of fish. Lots of small fish. Always a great day to get out to a new lake and figure out how to catch the fish. Caught some with a frog. Caught some trolling. Even caught jigging my panfish rod with a small twister tail on it. On to the next lake. I'm headed to the Cloquet area. After my excursion to Sturgeon Lake, I went to Cloquet, Minnesota. Staying up in Cloquet for 2 days. Got up nice and early Wednesday, the 26th. And I went to one of my favorite bass lakes that was kind of a good surprise last year. Now, I've mentioned in some of my videos, and I don't know if people like it or don't like it, but I don't mention the name of the lake if somebody else gave it to me. So this was one of those lakes that somebody else mentioned to me, and it ended up being a good stop for bass last year. So I tried it again, all hopeful that those bass would be in the same spots. Not much going on over at my favorite Cloquet Bass Lake. So I tried a little bit of everything. Of course, I started with the frog, and I did get a frog wrecker into the boat. Then after that, lots of casting, not much going on. So I put on the ultralight gear and ended up getting some fish in the boat. Sometimes it's a good idea to just kind of switch what you're doing and get some fish in the boat. It always makes you feel better when you get some fish in the boat. I think I ended up getting a crappie, a sunfish, a rock bass, and a northern. So all in all, it was fun to be out, but very slow fishing and a lot of small fish. There we go. Frog wrecker. Chunky one. There we go, first fish, right by the edge. There we go. What have we got? Ooh, it's a nice crappie. Look at that crappie. All right. I knew I was seeing something there. Little guys, there he is. He's up. Fish on. Oh yeah, we got new species. Got ourselves a rock bass. Look at that. go. Fish on. What do we got? Hey, a Sunny. Sunny's coming to the boat. It's a parade of species. I am finishing up my second leg of my Cloquet tour, and another rough day out there. Seems like every June I go through a dry spell, get to the point where I get a little bit frustrated with fishing, but then boom, something happens and brings me back. I'm still waiting for that thing this year, and I'm still gonna get out there fishing. I'm not giving up on this lake. I just think it's way behind this year, and the water's still in the 60s, so I think once it warms up, those bass will get going again. I've got Grand Rapids area planned for tomorrow. I'll keep you updated on how things are going. So, thinking I needed to get some big fish in the boat this week, I went to my favorite Grand Rapids lake for bass. Now, I didn't just go, I went and I made sure that I could get there before sunup. The only problem was it's about an hour and a half away from Cloquet, so I was up at 3 o'clock a.m. and in the car ready to go by 3:45. Got to the lake just before sunup, and it paid off. It was my best day of fishing by far this week, as well as one of my best days of bass fishing. Also, one of my worst days of bass fishing. You'll see in this report, I'm just going to put some of the disappointment of missing fish. Now, unfortunately, I narrowed it down to a few things. Obviously, it could be operator error. I'm not saying that I'm always going to hook the fish, but my new reel, the drag will not tighten down. And if you're a frog fisherman, you don't want a whole lot of give in that drag. You want to be able to set that hook. And once I changed reels, I ended up going to a different reel. I started hooking the fish a little better. So the reel is hopefully going back to Reed's. I'm going to give them a chance to show me what great customer service they have. I already talked to them and they said it's a possibility that I can just exchange it for another one. So I'm hoping they follow through on that. What a disappointment that Shimano reel that I mentioned in another video really casted well. The retrieve is awesome. I love it, but if it's not going to tighten down, there's not much I can do and I need to get a different reel. So anyhow, the fishing on my favorite Grand Rapids Bass Lake was great last week. In fact, I'll try to get a video out of just that day sometime this week. There we go. Oh, if that's a bass, that's a bigger one. It is a northern. Wow. So the northerns are just kind of grabbing at the back of it. There we go. Oh, darn it. Back at it. Breakfast of champions, beef jerky and Gatorade. There we go. feeling it might be a frog wrecker. Oh, it's a big bass. Oh. A storm moved in, so I went into town and got something to eat. On the way out of town, there's a small lake that I've never fished before that I always see off the road called Dinner Pail Lake. And that's where I went for my kind of afternoon session. And I did one lap around the lake and was able to catch some fish. So, when I get a chance, I think Dinner Pail Lake will have its own video too, showing the panfish and the bass that I caught there. It's bigger than that. That brings us to today. Today I decided to get out one more time. It's Saturday, June 29th, and I'm on the Rum River. You can see it's pretty warm out here, one of the warmest days of the year so far, and the river is really low. I'll show you the bank. Usually all that dirt that you see on the bank there, the water is up to the roots of the trees. So they're doing some maintenance on the dam. Sometimes when the water's been low, it's been really good. Today, I want to show you what I caught. Got it hooked up here. There's my catch of the day. Kind of on par with the Cloquet and the Sturgeon Lake. My week of small fish. This was the only one I could manage today. Now the rum will get better this summer, but I thought I would show you they're not always monsters. And no, I didn't catch it on a frog, I caught it on a yellow twister tail. So we're gonna let this guy go, and we'll catch him in about 5 or 6 years when he becomes a 20-incher. So all in all, great to be out this week. Got to see some beautiful sunrises. Just glad to be out and catching fish. I appreciate you watching this video. Wherever you're fishing, I hope they're biting.